Join us on our last day at Norman's Bay campsite. We take a walk along Eastbourne Pier and we visit Pevensey Castle.
Good morning everyone.
Morning.
So it's Sunday morning. It's our last day today and our plan for the day was to go to the car boot sale at Pevensey and then to the castle. But when we got there, the car boot sale was closed, wasn't it, dear?
Yeah, there was only us there with nothing to sell, so we decided to go somewhere else.
So we had a ride up just a little bit further along and thought we'd go on the front at Eastbourne. So we're on Eastbourne Pier.
Yeah, fantastic pier, built originally in 1872 I believe. It's 300 metres long in total, and it was built on cups on the seabed, so during rough weather the whole lot sort of floats.
It floats? That doesn't sound safe.
No, well, that's what it does. So.
Well, I suppose it's still here, so it's obviously done okay.
Yeah, it's been burnt down a couple of times over the years I think.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing, during the war,
yeah,
the decking was taken up,
right,
and it was used to put machine gun emplacements in to repel enemy invasion.
So all the piers seem to be getting in on the war, didn't they?
Well, yeah, there were handy things sticking out in the sea though, weren't they?
Yeah.
Put your guns on.
Yeah, I guess they were. See, so they played their part too, didn't they?
Yeah. Take it this bit here is like a gantry for boats to moor up.
Maybe it gives me willies though looking at it though.
Looking down?
Yeah,
not like
down.
it.
I don't like it.
So we're here at Pevensey Castle, which originally dates from around AD 290 and was a Roman defensive structure. So the gatehouse here at Pevensey Castle dates from around 1220.
Pretty old.
So Pevensey Castle was originally a Roman structure. So the walls we can see here behind us are the original Roman walls built in the 290s.
They've stood the test of time quite well, I think.
I think they have when you look at the thickness of them. They've got to be a good 25 foot thick.
Wow.
You can see the distinctive lines of the red tiles in the stonework. And in 1066, after William the Conqueror landed, he reinforced the defences and made it into his own castle.
And are these all the original walls? Or have they been redone?
I believe the outer ones are Roman, and then as you come, inner ones are what William Conqueror built, and then we have some from the Second World War, which we'll have a look at in a moment.
Quite a busy man was Bill, weren't he?
He built a lot of castles, didn't he?
He did, yeah, he liked his castles.
So it was on the beach here in front of us where those houses are that William the Conqueror landed in September 1066.
Rowing into shore. So was he on his own or did he have a big army?
He had an army of 700 ships that turned up here.
Wow.
And they legged it over to Hastings, where the castle that we was at yesterday.
Yeah.
Or the day before yesterday actually.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they built the wooden tower on the top of the rocks there on the cliffs. The wooden forts, yes. On the cliffs, and then they came back over to here and started to build their defences, which was probably a wooden building within the remains of the original Roman structure. So that's what it would have looked like in Roman times.
So is that how it would have looked when William came?
Yes.
Yeah.
Presume so, yes. Although it may have been a bit more collapsed than that by then, because the Romans were like 700 years earlier, weren't they?
Yeah. So why did William want to invade?
Because he thought he was the rightful heir to the throne. And even King Harold at one stage thought that he was the heir to the throne. But Edward the Confessor, on his deathbed, promised the crown to Harold. So he effectively become the legitimate king. And William decided he weren't having any of that.
He was coming over to take his piece.
Yes.
These are cool windows, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just sit in here, couldn't you, and watching for your enemy to come.
Yeah, sit here.
And then blasting with your arrows.
Get your arrow to your right and that way.
How do you do it again? Does it make that noise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh, this is steep, Dave.
Is that?
Yep. Down to the dungeon.
So this is the North Tower basement. It was originally built with a vaulted ceiling. There was no fireplace and it is below the level of the moat outside. So it must have been quite cold and damp down here, Valerie.
And uncomfortable.
Yes.
Although it was probably used for storage rather than accommodation.
Yeah, I would imagine so, yes.
The basement, it remains the finest surviving medieval interior in the castle.
Cool. I always like looking at the old graffiti on the stone.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's put that one at June 1890.
1997.
It always makes me think about those people hundreds of years ago who were writing graffiti on stonework.
I don't suppose they'd have called it graffiti then, would they?
I don't know.
So these bowls here,
Yeah.
they're all replicas of Roman ceramics.
Okay.
So can you guess which one was local and low status?
And
So the person would have been local and of low status.
then I would say that's his bowl, that's his porridge bowl.
Yep. And then local and high status.
Local and high status. I would have to go for this one.
And one that was imported from Greece.
This one. Am I correct?
I don't know yet.
This is the East Tower from around 1250. There's an hole here. We'll have a look what's in it.
Thought they were bits of skeletons at first, they're just stone.
In the Second World War, the castle was again used for defensive purposes. Any openings in the outside walls were blocked up. Pillboxes were installed. And there was a garrison stationed here.
Yeah, and the soldiers and the locals, they still mixed and enjoyed social engagements.
So you can see the modifications in here made to the walls of brick, and the roof is concrete with steel, reinforced concrete, used during the Second World War. So during the war, thousands of these pillboxes and other defences were installed all around the southern coast of England.
Yeah.
And you can see how they've used the castle walls to incorporate a pillbox.
Is that
you
where
see
they
it?
put the gun?
Yeah, so the gun would be sticking out of there, and it was camouflaged into the brickwork. Obviously they wanted to hide them from enemy aircraft, so they didn't bomb them.
Clever stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Quite amazing to think, isn't it, that a castle that was originally built in Roman times, that was still being used for defensive purposes in the Second World War.
Yeah, it's amazing that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still defending.
Yeah, after all that time.
Got some more random information.
Cool.
Yeah, I like a bit of random stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this castle held not just the local vagabonds or anything, but high calibre prisoners like
Yes.
James I,
James I of Scotland. Yes, he was
and his
here.
wife Joan.
Yeah, they were here for a while, weren't they?
Yeah, I wonder if they kept them in the same dungeons as the normal vagabonds, or whether they got a slightly better one.
I think they would have had a bit of preferential treatment.
I think so. It's not very fair, that, is it?
Well, that's it with royalty, isn't it? This castle was very much connected to royalty.
Yeah, so I suppose they'd treat the royals slightly better,
Yes.
even if they wanted to chop their head off or something.
By the 13th century, the castle had largely fallen into disrepair, and by the Tudor period, it had been abandoned. It was briefly resurrected again in 1588 to guard against the Spanish invasion, and then it wasn't used again until the Second World War.
What are these, Dave? Are they cannonballs?
No, these are trebuchet balls.
What's a trebuchet?
Trebuchet is it's like a siege engine, a wooden frame that had a counterweight, and it's the thing what used to throw the balls at, like at castle walls.
Ah, yeah. Thought they were a bit big for a cannon, but...
Yeah, they are a bit big for a cannonball. Yeah, they were trebuchet balls. They were first used in England in 1217. These were recovered from the moat and they thought to date back to 1264.
That's mad, that, isn't it?
Yes.
Somebody held that.
Yeah,
I always do
somebody made
this.
it.
Yeah.
Whether there was ever fired on the trebuchet or not, we will never know.
Oh, but somebody must have held it, mustn't they, all that time ago?
Yeah.
Now I'm holding it. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the courtyard and the well. See how deep it is, Val?
That's very deep. You wouldn't want to fall down there, would you?
Go inside and have a look.
You go and have a look.
You can see the water level. It's about 30 foot down, that.
So would they live here, like in the middle?
Yes. The most important people would have lived in the keep,
Right.
and the rest of them would have lived here in wooden buildings in the middle.
Right. This is a fine gate, isn't it, Dave?
So this is the postern gate, which is like a second entrance, tradesman's entrance we would call it today.
Like a sneaky entrance.
Yeah, on the south side of the castle. The gate was secured by a wooden drawbar housed in a socket in the side wall.
This wouldn't be the original gate, would it?
No, that's not original gate.
It's pretty old, though.
You can see an hole there where the probably been a wooden beam going across to secure it.
Yeah. I was thinking, imagine if you were like a Saxon villager when they invaded.
Yeah,
Like William of Normandy. Must have been scary, mustn't it?
Yeah, I suppose you would have been a bit frightened of them, especially when you saw so many ships appearing.
I mean, there were loads of them. So if you were a villager, it must have been pretty spooky, mustn't it?
Yes.
Wondering what was going to happen.
Yeah. What they were all coming for and what they was going to do. So this bit here, Val, is the chapel.
Yeah. So this, it seems, was used by everyone, wasn't it? I don't think you needed to be like royal to use this. I think everyone could use it.
Christian could use it, I suppose. Lots of castles had rooms dedicated to chapels, but this one at Pevensey had a separate building. I thought that there were some burials took place here as well. Obviously this steel thing is covering something, possibly a stone, gravestone.
Yeah. Here's a fine cannon.
Yes, it is.
Load it up from the back here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think you do that. I think you put it in from the front.
Oh dear.
Yes, the back's fixed on these. It's a very old cannon.
So how do you make it shoot?
You put your gunpowder in first, ram it down,
Yeah.
then you put your cannonball in,
Yeah.
then the fuse will be at this end.
This here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you light it there.
Right it there.
Yeah, so this gun was one of the oldest. This gun was one of the oldest English cast iron guns. It was first made in 1543.
Oh, this is for steering it, isn't it?
That's to move it up and down to give you
down.
elevation. It's a demi-culverin, a type of cannon that could fire a 4 kilogram ball over a mile.
I'm taking it this is a replica, it's not an original.
The gun is original, but the actual carriage is a replica.
Oh right, so this is original.
That's original, yeah. And it is believed to be one of the two guns that defended Pevensey in 1587, 1588
Wow.
during the attempted invasion of the Spanish Armada. So from this point here you can see, you can get an idea of how high the original walls were. This is one of the few bits left this tower where it's something like the height of the original.
So do you see the grid down there, Dave?
Yeah.
Where it's metal? It never used to be. I think it was wooden at one time.
Right.
But that is part of the dungeon, and they used to actually lower people down there, and that's the only way in or out.
Lower them down on a rope.
Yeah. Can you imagine how gruesome that must have been? To actually be lowered down there.
And then you're waiting for somebody to lift you up, and if you don't lift you up, then you've had it.
I bet they didn't lift them up. I bet they left them down there.
You'd
That's
then
awful.
just end up as skeletons. I bet they're still down there now.
Oh.
I bet the royalty who were imprisoned here, they didn't end up in that hole though, did
No,
they?
I don't think there was. I think after I asked that question earlier on, I think I've read that they were actually kept in the castle grounds and they were looked after by the constable. Oh Dave, this is dingy.
It's what?
Dingy. Be careful on the steps.
Well, yeah, they didn't make dungeons nice places, did they?
Oh, I know, but it's horrible. Oh, look at this, Dave. Imagine having to be down here, this is awful.
The gatehouse has 2 towers here, each has its own secure basement. The south basement has no windows to let in light and no fireplace or latrine, though there is a slot for a drawbar on the outside which would prevent anyone locked in the room from getting out.
There'd have been quite a few people down here, wouldn't there?
Well, it could hold quite a bit, doesn't it? About 20.
Yeah.
It's got your own plants as well, so if you're hungry, you can always eat them.
That's awful.
How would you go on living in a dungeon, Bob?
Not well, probably.
And you can see here in the wall, that's the slot where the bar would go across, probably a wooden beam to keep the door locked so they couldn't get out. So what do you think of Pevensey Castle, Val?
I think it's really nice and it's interesting.
It's a very nice ruined castle. These are our favourite types of castles, the ones that are in ruins.
Yeah, we like the ruins, don't we, better?
We do. So if you want to visit Pevensey Castle, it's £10.90 to get in. It's an English heritage site, so if you're members of English Heritage, then it's free.
I think it's quite reasonable, really, when you think about the cost of a lot.
History here over nearly 2,000 years. Fantastic. Quite a nice little village here as well, Pevensey.
It is, it's beautiful.
Pevensey.
So it's time for us to say goodbye to Norman's Bay. We'd have a lovely time, wouldn't we, Dave?
We have.
You really enjoyed Hastings, that's probably my favourite part. So we're now heading to our next and final campsite of this trip. So we hope you've enjoyed the video. Please join us again next time as we head towards Canterbury. Thanks for your company. See you next time. Bye bye.